Among the current Emperors of the Sea, Crossguild is the only crew that hasn't taken action yet. Blackbeard's crew being involved in Garp's capture and Law's defeat, from Shanks defeating Kid, and then Luffy being involved in the Egghead incident. Yeah, I think Crossguild needs to actually do something now. In this video, I'm going to be going over what their first action may be. And with their first action, I think it will lead to Doflamingo coming back and being a massive focal point on that crew. But before I get into the video, if you guys could like and subscribe, that would be great, as it's a great way of showing support. Plus, it's a win-win. You guys like and subscribe, and obviously you're going to get more content like this, so hey look, it's a win-win. But anyway, that's enough of the rambling. Let's get straight into why you're here. Now, we know in Marineford that Crocodile and Doflamingo obviously had talks, and obviously Doflamingo was like, yo, we should do something, and Crocodile's like, no, you could work for me, I ain't working for you, like, let's not do that. So this obviously spawns in the idea of, if anything were to happen, obviously like membership between these two could happen. I know obviously at the time it's like, no, I ain't working for you, because obviously pride and everything, but if you could obviously look at it in a different angle, it's like Doflamingo is the one that's offering it. So if you now bring it all the way up to now, we can really go into why I believe that Doflamingo can get involved in Crossguild. Now, before I truly get into why I think Doflamingo would just accept the deal if Crocodile and Mihawk were to give it to him, I'm gonna take it back and obviously talk about why Crossguild would even go to Impel Down to even rescue him. First of all, Crocodile does know about Doflamingo's stuff. I'm assuming that he knows that Doflamingo like is smart enough to be like, alright, if these guys can break me out of here right now, Doflamingo is the type of person to get out, and obviously he just wants to see chaos going in the world, and right now is the perfect time. He doesn't want to be sitting in a jail cell while the world's burning. He wants to see that at the front. He wants to see that like at the front of the stage, or at the front of the crowd, he's seeing the world burn. That's all he's about. Now, I don't know if Crocodile knows his personality, but obviously if he was to go to Impel Down, that is something that would lead Doflamingo to obviously join, because he can get to see everything at the front row. But another thing they will take into consideration is the fact that Doflamingo does know about the underworld very, very well. And due to their form of business, they need that money and income, and obviously they can rely on Doflamingo. Yes, everything did crash down, but now he's got a backing of another Yonko, and he's going to be on that crew with obviously the Marines trying to fight against them. I think this is where obviously with his connections and stuff, Doflamingo can bring the money in, and then you can see Crossguild actually becoming a real business. Another thing Crocodile or Mihawk, I don't know which one said it, I think it's more Crocodile, but another thing Crocodile did say is that they need power, and Doflamingo can be a very good asset on their crew. I know obviously right now he may not be the strongest, but I'm assuming he's gonna get the Impel Down buff, so you know what's gonna happen then. Now, I know I'm talking about bringing him on, but I want to quickly focus on what would happen if they were to go into Impel Down and obviously bust him out. Breaking into Impel Down gives them a lot of free soldiers, and it's not even like, oh nah, they won't work for the crew. No, they're a Yonko crew that's breaking in, and they're basically saying, come join us. You can then earn money through defeating these Marines that captured you. Do you know how like pirates are going to think of that, be like, this is the golden opportunity, of course I'm going to join you. Now, I know a few people were broken out a few years ago, but with Weevil being in there and obviously other people obviously getting captured over the years, I'm going to automatically assume that there's going to be a lot more people there, so you can obviously then dip into the place, grab Weevil, who I think he would join, and then Doflamingo, who has incentive to join. That increases your power drastically. And essentially you have a warlord crew just sailing on the sea, and that is something that will obviously gain the respect of the world government, which is what Crocodile was talking about. Breaking into Impel Down will obviously give them the threat level that they need, and so with that, it then bolsters obviously the notoriety of the crew, and then obviously the underworld, because obviously I'm assuming that the underworld will probably bet on certain things. Those people are then going to be like, okay, this is a crew that's doing certain things. Doflamingo can then work his connections, and I feel like that is somewhere where obviously the crew can then flourish. One thing I do need to obviously talk about, which I think I briefly touched on earlier, was the power dynamic in the crew. And obviously I do know that Doflamingo would probably want a good position on the crew, which he probably will get, but I don't know how he's gonna clash with Crocodile, since they've already clashed about it. I doubt Mihawk even cares. Mihawk just cares about being like, he just wants to do his own thing. But between Crocodile and Doflamingo, I think it could cause some tension, but I don't think it'll cause that much tension. And the thing is that Crocodile's there for business. Obviously Doflamingo, I feel like he's there for business, but he's also there just to see what's gonna happen, and he knows what bug he's gonna be on. And I feel, me personally, I feel like Doflamingo would take on the role of like, yeah, no, Bug, you know, you should do that. No, definitely, like, you should definitely do that, and like aggravate like Crocodile. I can see that happening because the dynamic between the two, where like Crocodile, he's more of like, okay, cold strategist, let's get this done, while Doflamingo can be a strategist, but hey look, listen, if there's fun to be had, he wants to see it. So I can see that dynamic on the crew. And then you got Mihawk there just like, I can't be bothered for all your like this loud nonsense. And I feel like with Doflamingo on the crew, he'll be able to give them some extra pointers on like what the Celestials and that do, like, because they could even